Hey folks, it's me. Haven't updated in a minute, mainly because there hasn't been anything to update. I came off the prednisone and had the munchies really hardcore for about 3 to 4 days, but maintained what I had lost. Didn't gain anything, and now I've only lost like a pound since. But that's okay, because still for my monthly total, I'm feeling pretty good. I think we're up to like 16, 17 pounds this month. But my scale isn't really functioning today. I try to weigh in a couple of times this week, and it keeps giving me different amounts. I've mentioned before, it's on a slanted floor. So you just kind of have to put it in the right place, and can't seem to find that sweet spot. Pun intended. But I'm bad for that. Sorry. But, the calorie counting continues, and been walking after work on the rooftop of the garage I'm parked in. And tonight was able to do that for almost like half an hour because got off work early. That was beautiful. I'm having really bad issues with my vocal cord dysfunction, which is causing me to have breathing issues. So as soon as I start doing anything or getting stressed just at, basic level at work, not actually like stressed out, but just the typical work stress, I suddenly can't breathe. My vocal cords close up. And I also have sinus drainage going on. So breathing right now is one of those things, I'm not taking for granted. So there hasn't been much difference since then. I can tell you that my mood is doing pretty well, and that's nice. My energy levels have been kind of up and down, and coming off the prednisone left me really lightheaded and dizzy for a few days, and just feeling like crap, but bounced back. Still a little lightheaded, but that could be from that could be from the dietary changes, that could be from all sorts of things. A lot of life stressors right now, so just trying to kind of hang in there. Ended up having a thing of 69-cent ramen noodles tonight for dinner, and sometimes your girl just needs some ramen noodles. Honestly, there just wasn't anything left in the house that didn't require a lot of cooking when I got home from work at 2:30 in the morning. So yeah, I don't know. I think bit by bit it's coming along, and I hope to keep it that way. Still managing the balancing meals issue. Supposed to be doing 5 small meals a day, and I am nowhere near that yet. Like tonight, I am a few hundred calories or more, below my 1700 goal. So, I I don't know. Like I think putting work in the mix is the wild card so far. I think the rest of the time I can balance things, pretty well. But sometimes, there's been a few days this month where I've been over my caloric goal. Not too surprised by that. It's the first month. Got touch and go days, and I'm going to have to learn how to, see those days coming down the pipeline so I can start mitigating them early. But not beating myself up over them. Not freaking out about, a 2100 calorie day. That's not worth beating myself up over. There was an incident with some ice cream the other night that was worth beating myself up over. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be once I actually put it in the app. But yeah, I should know better than to, not scoop it out of the container before I eat it. That's where your girl goes wrong. Yeah, I need to make sure I have better things to eat in the house that do not take a lot of cooking or preparation, because with work, I am not going to be able to come home at 2:30 in the morning and cook something like, a chicken, like I did earlier this week. I put it in the crock pot. It was delicious. But leftover chicken, I can. see how long that lasted and kind of plan it out and things like that. And I'm working on it. Got to get back into that rhythm, but I definitely got to get some easy meals other than ramen noodles in the house. There's a lot of soup in the house. When my dad passed, he left behind like, I don't know, 40 cans of soup. The problem is a lot of them have a vegetable stock base or have a lot of celery in them. And celery has the bad taste for me, which is sad because I love soup. I also can't do cream soups or any soup with like a cheese in it because the same thing. It's got the bad taste. So I'm going to have to balance all of that with it. And you would think this soup is just a little thing, but to me, I love soup and I love crockpot stuff because it's so easy and it's tasty. And the weather's turning here in Cincinnati, so it was like 65 degrees today or something, and I was like, soup, chili, please. And maybe I should make some chili this week. That sounds good. But that's something I have been doing too, is eating Wendy's chili. Wendy's chili isn't so bad calorically, and it's nice and filling. Just can't do the saltines. My sodium is out of this world. Last time I did this, I didn't have to watch my sodium as badly. I didn't focus on it, but like I became more aware of it because the app would tell me, "Hey, this is what you're doing with your sodium." And I'd be like, "Oh, damn, what did I eat?" And I can go back and be like, "Oh, I did not know that was the thing." Hi, Ian. But apparently that was a thing. And, sorry, buddy, go. And, yeah, now I'm looking at it, and I have to watch it because of, the blood pressure in my heart and all that fun stuff, because I'm not getting any younger. And, oh my god, I don't think I've made my sodium levels once. And today is officially it's the 26th, but this means 24 days in, and I haven't made that sodium level once. There were a couple days it got kind of close. I'm at 1500 is what I'm aiming for every day. And, there's like an 1800 day in there, and I was like, yeah, get closer. And that didn't last long. The next day it was like 2400. I was like, well, maybe I should start more realistically and see what happens. But salt is one of those things that I have never put in my food intentionally, and I just didn't realize until I started doing this a few years ago how much is in things. Like, did you know, like, a lot of sodas have sodium, and you've got, of course, your snacks, but you don't think of things like, your breads and your pastas and stuff, and what that little sodium adds up to be. And a lot of people put salt. Do you mind, dog? Do you mind, babies? A lot of people put salt in their pasta when they're cooking it. I don't. I usually just do a little bit of olive oil. But, I think of all of the, I can't imagine how when people do salt their food, like, what their sodium is like, because holy crap. Like, I'm not a salty person, and mine has been ridiculous. Now, granted, like, I have my ramen soup tonight, my ramen noodles, my, really cheap ones. I only put half that packet in, and I still felt like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. So I can't imagine, what the sodium kind of people who love salt is like, because, oh my gosh. But, lunch meat, Chinese food, that's a big one. A lot of prepared meats, anything that you're not cooking at home yourself. I'm finding a lot of love from Mrs. Dash. If you don't know, they're sodium-free seasonings, and some of them are sodium-free, but they're all salt-free, and that's what's nice. So that's helpful. I don't know. Like, I didn't realize just how much I was consuming. I definitely understand how much, calorically and sugar-wise and fat, I consume. But sodium is a whole different ballgame. And, grains of salt are little things that are really big things. So, I guess that's tonight. Little thing that's big thing. That and, a teaspoon of ice cream, when you refill it a bunch of times, becomes a big thing. Just for your information, in case you needed to know. Alright, y'all. I will hopefully have better information for you next Wednesday at my weigh-in. I do have some testing on Monday for my cortisol levels, and I'm really excited because that's so far it's like, prime suspect number one for what's going on with like my energy levels and a lot of other things that the prednisone has done a lot, I think, this time around to kind of help with. But maybe we'll get an answer. Maybe we won't, but at least it'll rule something out, possibly. And that is information in and of itself. I always have a problem with people who get upset when their research, like their scientific research, like real research, doesn't come out the way that they want it to, or doesn't, give them any kind of, changes in the process that they're looking for changes. And I'm like, no, because that lack of information is in and of itself critical information, and even if I have 1,000 failed experiments, that means that nobody else has to do those experiments unless, they think I did it wrong or whatever, because they're like, oh, the likelihood is we're going to get the same result, and that would be with me duplicating it over and over again, because that's the way science really goes. You have no idea sometimes things that get duplicated. Sounds stupid, but you have to make sure there weren't errors the first time around or different circumstances that could change the outcome. But that's a story for another time. I'm heading to bed. I'm exhausted, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.